parts to use and what's with what. But here, I'm going to go ahead and show you. So basically, if you are planning on having gray hair, first things first, you do need to have light hair. It does need to be blonde. It needs to be very light. The lighter it is, the more gray it's going to be, and the more vibrant silver. If you want silver, that's what you're going for. I'll show you what my hair, I know you can see in the video, but I'll show you the level that my hair is at before putting any highlights or anything like that in it. And it's going to be, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see that, but it's about at this level. So it was starting to look a little bit golden for me, which I wasn't really feeling. But that's how light it is. And I did put highlights in it just now. Oh, I'll start with the bleach. Because like I said, you will need light hair. And the one I love to use is Kaleido Colors. And these do come in different shades. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with what my hair used to look like, but it was a more golden brown for a while. This was a while back. And I did use Kaleido Colors in the shades of neutral. This one that I just showed you guys is actually one for cool tone. So this is going to make your hair more cool tone, which is exactly what we want to do. The cooler the better as far as the blonde goes. And so those ones, I feel like they do not damage your hair anywhere near as other bleaches do. I don't know what it is. It's just way different. I feel like it doesn't damage your hair at all. Like, I mean, it damages your hair, but not anything serious. I mean, as you can see, I've been going light in stages, and I really love it. I've been using those products for quite a while, and with that I do use either a 20 or 30 vol of developer. For this video I use 30, and it's actually just because I don't have a 20 on hand right now. I didn't realize I didn't have any, but 30 is fine. It's an extra lift. And then as far as the toning, so as far as actually getting your hair gray, this is going to be your best friend right here. This is I'll zoom this in. This is 050 Wella Color Charm. And what it is, it's an additive that you add into the hair toner, and it will give it those very, very violet tones. Because that's actually what it is. It's cooling violet. That's what shade it is. And it's going to add just really, really cool violet tones to that toner. And then secondly, this is T14 from Color Charm. Even if you're just doing blonde and you're not really interested in going fully gray, but you just want like a really ashy blonde, this is going to be great for you. This is the toner that I love to use when I do my hair blonde, because it is going to take out those brassy tones, and it is the palest blonde that there is. I believe in the sections and stuff like that. So with those, I did use the 10 volume developer, and yeah, these are two different brands. One's Salon Care and one is Ion. To me, it's not that big of a deal, but I just get them both from Sally's. I get all this stuff from Sally's. The only thing I did not get from Sally's is the hair dye I use to dye my roots. I do like my roots to be a little bit darker. I don't really want just like the full head to be all gray, just because when it grows back it's going to pretty much do the same effect anyways, and this way I have highlights in it. So the box dye I like to use is the brown, I want to say it's Revlon, and that's the one I love to use. I've always liked to use it. I used to have my hair black all the time, and I mean, they're inexpensive, they work just as well. I feel like they're good. So those are ones I usually get from like Walgreens or something like that. So yeah, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so first things first, you want to get a rubber band or a hair tie, whatever you call it, and just brush through your hair, section it off into 3 different pieces, just so it's a little bit easier to get to those roots. So this is actually what we're doing. We're actually going to be deepening the roots right now. So just brush through it, section it off into little pigtails, you know, the whole 9. And then once you do that, just section off the little piece that you're going to use for now, and you're going to use this little brush, just kind of brush through it. Right here, I'm just mixing together the dye, and then put it on like a plate or a bowl, however you want to do it, and just go ahead and comb that through your roots. I think this brush makes it a little bit easier because it's not so uniform, and you can kind of brush through it and sort of, you know, making it a little bit more natural. And just make sure you get the bottom and the top. Just so that there's no light brown pieces still in there. Alright, and then you're almost done. Just get the top of your head, make sure you have all that covered and saturated, and then you're going to wait 15 minutes and wash that sucker out. I just use this mane and tail, and then the Color Stay conditioner it comes with. And just dry off your hair. Make sure it's nice and dry. Straighten it if you like, if you have something to do, I guess. But you can see that the roots are way darker than they were. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that needle and then the cap. I know this obviously looks goofy, but who cares? Just start kind of pulling it through. If you feel comfortable just doing balayage highlights, like basically where you go through your own head without the cap and just putting them in yourself, that's actually a better option. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. This is a little bit more uniform, or for people that aren't very, used to bleaching their own hair, putting highlights in their own hair by hand. And you can just pull it through all the circles for a little bit of highlights, or you can pull it through all the extra little holes and you actually get more highlights, obviously. And kind of brush through it, make sure there's no tangles, and we're gonna mix together the bleach. And right here, we're just mixing in that Kaleido Colors, and it's 1 part to 2 parts. So 1 part bleach, 2 parts developer. Just go ahead and mix that together. And then you're gonna get kind of this consistency. So you're avoiding those roots, since we did just darken them, you obviously don't wanna have to go back through and redo them. And you're just gonna keep this on for 15 minutes. And then you're gonna go ahead and wash this out once again. And just dry it. Your hair doesn't have to be fully dry for this next process because we are toning it. So we're gonna take right here the T14 and we're gonna use half a bottle. This is also 1 part to 2 parts. So we're using 1 part of this toner, and we're gonna fill the bottle all the way up this time with developer to kind of measure it out. And this is the 2 parts basically. And on the box it does tell you only to add a couple capfuls, but no, we're pretty much gonna use about half the bottle. That's more for like subtle, and obviously subtle is not what we're going for. So we're using quite a bit of that violet, and once you mix it together, it's gonna look basically like this. And just go ahead and split your hair up once again. That way you can kind of, isolate the parts that you're gonna be doing. Start brushing that on right there. And by the way, I did not see him behind me that whole time. And this is just what it's gonna look like. It's a horrible, horrible mess. So put a bag or something like that over your hair to keep it from getting everywhere. Put that on for about 25 to 35 minutes. So yeah guys, this is the final result. This is how my hair turned out. Also one other question that I'm sure you guys might have is, does this hair last? No, definitely not. I would say that it doesn't last long, but it's mostly because it is just a tone. It's not a permanent hair dye basically. And if you do have a way to get your hair to stay longer like this, let me know. But for my personal tips are to use a purple shampoo, which I do. Mine is by the brand Matrix, I believe. So when you use that purple shampoo, just lather it into your hair in the shower and let it sit. It'll keep those purple tones in your hair and keep it from fading out. And with any blonde hair, you should do that as well, just to keep it from getting brassy. But besides that, just not using too hot of water in the shower, keeping the heat to kind of a minimum. I know this is hard because I personally have an issue with, straightening and things like that. But so those are the best things I could just give as far as advice. But the good thing about this is it's not like red hair where you leave stains all over your damn house, like you're waking up in the morning and it looks like you murdered somebody on your pillow. Like, it's not like that. You don't have any like staining, and you won't see it like really washing out in the shower. Mostly it'll just start to fade and you'll just notice it, and it won't be that big of a deal. It leaves it with a really pretty ashy toned blonde. Here, I'll actually show you guys what my hair looks like. Sorry, I'm just pulling up a bunch of pictures here. Let me see. So yeah, this right here is the cooler tone blonde. This is what it fades out to be, so it's still going to be blonde, and it is going to be very cool. As where before I ever did my hair gray or anything like that, this is what it looked like. As you can see, it looks very yellow. I mean, I guess it was like going for like the sun-kissed look or something. I don't really know what I was doing, but not feeling it. So it's actually going to leave you looking way better anyways in the long run in your, your blonde hair. Excuse me, there's like, okay, so where I film, it's like the front window to my house, and there's just people driving by, and I'm like, okay, this is a little bit awkward, just a little bit. Oh well.